veteran fighter from Dallas, Texas, Larry Slow Motion Smith. 10-28-1. He'll be taking on Alexis Salazar. Smith flanked by his family. He's enjoying the moment. Got the cowboy star on his trunk. Look at this.
Yeah, he was loosey-goosey at yesterday's weigh-in, and absolutely, he's enjoying this this point of his career so far. Staying loose on his way to the ring.
Weighing 153 pounds is Larry Smith at the age of 37. You know, when you got the shades going into the ring, you know you're feeling good. Beto Duran, Doug Fisher, and Steve
now,
Kim.
Ladies and gentlemen, making his way to the ring, representando Mexico, Alexis, El Velito Salazar.
Alexis Salazar, part of Canelo's training camp for this one from Tlaquepaque, Jalisco, Mexico. We do appreciate everybody using the hashtag RingTV. Let us know you're watching on ringtv.com. We know you're all about it on the online where you can watch the Golden Boy match tonight between Canelo Alvarez and Liam Smith. Go to goldenboypayperview.com and use the hashtag RingTV. Big Serge Estrada, former Army medic, and now one of the fine young cutmans in Southern California, watching us, as is David Lopez, PR Lopez 333, watching the stream right now. Do appreciate that from David Lopez. And Joshua Something, good Twitter name, said he was impressed by Mr. Anthony Yard first round KO. So keep the tweets coming on Ring TV. That is Alexis Salazar, trained by Chepo Reynoso, who later on tonight will be in the corner of Canelo Alvarez.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's time for our second bout of the afternoon. This is 6 rounds of action in the super welterweight division. This is presented by Canelo Promotions, sponsored by Tecate, Born Bold, O'Reilly Auto Parts, better prices every day. Hennessy, never stop, never settle. Adriana's Insurance, el seguro que necesitas, al precio que quieres pagar. AT&T, mobilizing your world. And Casa Mexico Tequila, it's in the taste. Let's get around for a second bout of the evening. This is in the super welterweight division, 6 rounds of action. Your referee for this bout is Robert Chapa. Introducing first in the blue corner, he hails from Dallas, Texas. He's wearing the silver trunks with the blue stars and the black trim, weighing 153 pounds. It is Larry Slow-Mo Smith. And his opponent in the red corner, he hails from Tlaquepaque, Mexico. He's got a professional record of 7 wins, 3 losses. All 3 wins coming by way of knockout, wearing the black trunks with the white trim. Ladies and gentlemen, 157 pounds. It is Alexis Salazar. 6 rounds of action, super welterweight.
Gentlemen, you've got your instructions before the fight, okay? Obey my commands at all times. Protect yourself at all times. Here's your belt line right here. Anything below that will lose a point. Okay, shake hands, let's go.
Ring announcer with an extra last name shout out a la Bob Shepard at Yankee Stadium. And there you see our referee ready to go. This one between Alexis Salazar and Larry Smith, scheduled for 6 rounds. Salazar, there you see him kneeling and praying in the red corner. From Tlaquepaque, Jalisco, Mexico. Ring right there in the middle. See the tail of the tape for these 2 fighters. As Alexis Salazar, 7-3 in his career. Lost the second time he was out in 2013. Then he lost to Juan Regosa in 2015. He started his career 0-2, then after that changed it around. He was in Canelo's camp. Here he is as the second bout of the Canelo Smith card. 11 fights scheduled. We already saw Anthony Yard with a win, a first-round stoppage in the first bout. Larry Smith, 10-28-1 in his last 23 fights, 22 losses, 1 draw. Last time he won was in August of 2011. But he's the fighter that you go up there, the journeyman, but it's going to give young fighters rounds. You look at some of the names, Jermell Charlo, Chia Santana. Those are the kind of names that these guys learn. Felix Diaz, the Dominican.
Wally
Those
Omotoso.
are top welterweights and junior middleweights.
Yeah, Cleotis Pendarvis. This type of guy is going to give you a little bit of experience, but as you said, Beto, slow-mo has come to a slow grind here. I guess the best way to put this euphemistically is a seasoned veteran of the fight game.
Smith in the silver, turned pro in 2009. I mean, there's some guys just know their role in the sport of boxing. He knows it. Have the gloves. Well, let's go.
You know, it kind of reminds me of the early non-conference games in the SEC when they bring in a directional school like Northeastern Louisiana and Alabama hammers them 56-10.
Appalachian State.
Well, no, not
sometimes.
No, there was a Category 5 in Boone, North Carolina, but this is what it reminds me of. If you need a guy that's going to give you a round or two, but you also need to pick up a victory, Larry Smith is your guy. In fact, you talk about the skid that he's been on. He has not won since 2011.
One of the names on his ledger, Don Mountain, one of your favorite guys. Mouton, sorry.
Was a very reliable gatekeeper in the middleweight and super middleweight division for a while.
Alexis Salazar from Tlaquepaque, Jalisco, Mexico, born in 1995. Turned pro in 2013. Some wide shots coming with him. He's fired. Imagine being in camp with Canelo in San Diego County, loading up on that right hand, going to the body. This one is scheduled for 6 rounds. Trained by Chepo Reynoso, who's had Canelo Alvarez his entire career. Final seconds of the opening round. Salazar and Smith at AT&T Stadium in Dallas, Texas. Smith with that snicker like, yeah, nothing for me. What you got? Festive?
Are we close to Christmas?
Yeah, close enough.
It's Mexican Independence Weekend. You got to get the lights out. Joshua Franco is in 2 fights from now from San Antonio, Texas. He has some fans with him coming up from San Antonio. 4 fights total on the Ring TV stream.
Yeah, you know what? The old man, he punches back when he gets hit. Didn't connect solidly with that 1-2, but he did send a message to the younger fighter.
Doug, despite the record, when you're in there with guys like Wally Omotoso, Felix Diaz, Jermell Charlo, and some other well-known guys, you may not win, but a guy like Salazar isn't going to necessarily intimidate a guy like Smith.
Salazar in the black trunks. Nickname Laberinto. Translation, the maze. Like a labyrinth. I mean, we've heard some interesting Mexican.
That is interesting. I just don't see how it applies to boxing.
Hey, maybe it's hard to figure out or how to get away from him. I mean, you've had names like, Finito.
Oh, good right hand.
Yes, Smith is hurt.
One of the best names ever, the Tijuana Tornado.
Oh, a personal favorite of mine, and guys, about 20 seconds ago, that was a sweeping right hand that hit Smith, I think, right around the temple, and he was visibly affected by that.
He kind of conned Salazar a little bit, though.
Salazar had an opportunity to jump on him as he just sort of backpedaled away.
And made faces at him, like telling the young man, no, I'm okay, I'm fine. Not really.
Salazar with those long arms, swinging very wide, is the fighter from Mexico.
I think the Reynosos have some work to do on his technique.
Yeah, one thing they need to do, Doug, really is, again, always sharpen that jab, but that right hand should be a little bit straighter, a little bit more compact. It's a very wide, sweeping right hand, although he throws a pretty good left hook to the body, though, as we saw right there.
21-year-old Alexis Salazar in the black. 37-year-old Larry Smith. Wasn't he good defensive back also for the Cowboys, Larry Smith?
No, I think that was Larry Brown.
Larry Brown. Sorry.
Now,
Larry Smith was the coach.
He actually went to 3 Rose Bowls at USC, and there was also Mr. Mean for the Golden State Warriors.
Yeah.
Hard-charging rebounder back in the day.
Halfway through the second round. Salazar trying to go to that body, but he's very wide with his punches, isn't he?
No, he is. One thing you wanted to do is when that punch comes, especially the right hand from the shoulder, you wanted to have a straighter arc. Doug, his right hand has like an arc to it.
Yeah, we sometimes call these guys wingers because they wing their shots, and you can be a puncher and be a winger. The problem with being a winger is that you're open to your opponent's straighter punches.
Yeah, and when you face a guy with a very high guard that's going to use the earmuff defense, which Liam Smith actually does, you may want to actually throw right hand with that type of arc. But you can see him now starting to bust
That
through
was the
on
right
Smith.
hand he threw after he landed a right uppercut.
Yes, very good call, Beto. It was the uppercut that sort of opened Smith up for those follow-up shots. And an uppercut is the perfect shot for that earmuff defense, that high guard.
I like to call it the 5-hole, as they say in hockey.
He's going back to that uppercut, landing a couple more. Did Salazar in the black. Second fight of the night. Working towards Canelo and Smith. Go to goldenboypayperview.com where you can buy it for your mobile device. You'll hear Larry Merchant and the Colonel Bob Sheridan on the call for that one. A winger. There's got to be a new term for that guy. This guy, he's more than just a winger.
Nuestra experiencia y dedicación te dan la certeza de que tu tranquilidad está asegurada. Dale knockout a los precios altos con el 2x1 de Adriana's Insurance. Adriana's Insurance, el seguro de auto que necesitas al precio que quieres pagar. Llama y comienza a ahorrar hoy mismo. Adriana's Insurance, patrocinador oficial.
Larry Smith, slow motion, enjoying himself in that ring, walks back to the ring, throws his hands up, a little smile, looking at himself on that big screen. I think as every single person in AT&T Stadium will be doing tonight.
And Doug, I thought in the middle part of the second round he became slower motion. I thought the body shots of Salazar really began to visibly affect him.
Keep those tweets coming using Ring TV. As Joe Sanchez Fournier talks about the nickname that Labyrinth has with Alexis Salazar. How about this one? He likes the one El Brochas, the paintbrush from Martín Honorio.
And Joe is one of the influential sports writers in Puerto Rico, so to Joe I say, Huepa.
Huepa. Yep. And we will see a Puerto Rican later on the night. Orlandito del Valle takes on undefeated Diego de la Hoya, the first fight on pay-per-view. GoldenBoyPayPerView.com is where you can order that fight. And for coverage from all week long, go to the Golden Boy YouTube page, Instagram, Snapchat, Facebook. Everything is there for you. It started on Tuesday with the rival Liam Smith. Canelo showed up on Wednesday with that beard. Shaved it, made 154 pounds. As always, Linus watching in Philadelphia. Appreciate it.
Truly our security blanket from Philadelphia.
We're at the home of the Dallas Cowboys. The stadium that opened up in 2009. First event, a Mexico exhibition soccer game. Tonight, they're going to see one of the most popular athletes in Mexico, Canelo Alvarez, make his Dallas debut against Liam Beefy Smith, the champion, 154 pounds in the WBO division. Salazar in black, 37-year-old Larry Smith in silver. There's some fans inside the building. Second fight. You know, there's some hardcore fans. You guys told me all about this. In Texas, this is an event.
Yeah.
Unlike Dallas, unlike Vegas.
I actually participated in one 5-6 years ago. They actually tailgate outside. And also the organizers of this event have a fan fest outside. So there are people milling around the parking lot. Many of them, in fact.
Well, you tailgate in Dallas. Of course you do that. There's special tailgate lots. tailgating is becoming a thing in Southern California. Mr. Guru does it, but not on the level that they do here in Dallas.
The king of StubHub.
Yeah, they do it right in Dallas, unlike the Guru with the Pirateria t-shirts.
Wow, Beto.
He's got to step it up to get to Dallas level. Right now, Alexis Salazar is in control of this fight against Larry Smith, who's doing what he does. 37 years old. He makes you grind.
Well, he's being pesky in there.
No, he is. But Doug, he's got a lot of work to do, Salazar, from a technical standpoint. One thing, when he punches, he's got to bring his hands back in proper defensive position and also keep his chin tucked in and in proper defensive and fundamental form. He seems to lose that as he launches these right hands.
I think he's loading up a lot, and that might affect his stamina a few rounds later.
Final seconds of the third round. It is scheduled for 6. Working our way towards Canelo Alvarez and Liam Smith. Go to goldenboypayperview.com.
Salazar with the 1-2. They both cover up on the inside. Comes over the top with the right. He's trying to employ some head and upper body movement to evade Smith's punches, but he gets caught. Smith misses with the hook, and so does Salazar.
Yeah.
2 more fights on the ringtv.com stream coming up next from Brooklyn, New York. Puerto Rican descent, Zachary Ochoa takes on Mexican Daniel Montoya from Tamaulipas, Mexico. Then after that, it will be Joshua Franco against Brian Bazan. Bazan actually working at the Zona Norte. Eric Morales' gym in Tijuana. We're in the 4th round. Alexis Salazar in the black. Larry Smith, who hasn't won since 2011, in there. Pesky's a great word to use, Doug. You really can't do much against him, but when you do land, you got to earn it.
And it's not like he's physically imposing himself on the younger man at all. It's not like he's a huge threat offensively speaking, although he is letting his hands go, and thus he's being pesky with his sporadic offense and just his
Smith
well, I'm trying to think of the word. He's defiant in his own way.
Smith is just slippery enough to be difficult. He's there to be hit, but he's not there to be hit squarely. That's the best way I'd put it. And quite frankly, Salazar has some deficiencies technically that make it very difficult for him to really take care or really take advantage of some of the holes that are being left open by Smith.
Now, am I seeing things, or does Salazar look a little bit arm-weary?
Yeah, he
does.
does.
Seem to be breathing a little bit heavier and not have as much leverage on these winging shots as he did in the first 2 rounds.
Yeah, I don't disagree with you. And Doug, that old saying from Vince Lombardi that fatigue makes cowards of us all. I think what really fatigue does, it breaks down your technique. And you see technically what's going on here. Salazar is now starting, I don't want to say coming apart, but you're right, he doesn't have the same snap or the same torque he did, let's say, 2 rounds ago.
Yeah, he's pushing his punches from the outside. The jab and the right hand, he just ate one. Kind of lunging forward, but he's got a sluggish look to him right now.
Right.
Check out his body language.
And again, one thing they're going to have to do when they do some film study, Beto, when you throw a punch, you got to bring it back in proper defensive position. He really does not. And in fact, he leans his head forward, which makes him even more of an enticing target.
Was told that Salazar would serve as Canelo's sparring partner during this camp to give him a perspective of a smaller fighter.
Yeah.
Somebody who would be pesky and could work with. They didn't work many rounds with him, but he did work some amount of rounds in the camp with Canelo in San Diego County. It's Salazar. He's in the black. And you're also, the volume that he was throwing punches in the first couple rounds. The pace is slowed down for the Mexican from Tlaquepaque.
Well, Beto, tonight on the main event, one of the punches that I think Liam Smith really throws well, and we'll see if he can get this punch going tonight, is that right there, the left hook. And Salazar does give him a pretty good look. He's been throwing a decent left hook downstairs throughout this fight.
10 seconds ago in the 4th round. It is scheduled for 6 between Alexis Salazar and Larry Smith.
partido ya empezó. Tú sabes que yo quería estar en LA con mis amigos.
Ay, hijo, estás en México. Anímate.
¿Y cómo va el cubo?
Con AT&T, lleva tu plan de los Estados Unidos a México sin costo adicional, al escoger un plan elegible. Así de fácil. AT&T tiene la red más grande de todo Norteamérica.
Beto Duran, Steve Kim, and Doug Fisher working our way towards Canelo Alvarez and Liam Smith. Get the pay-per-view at goldenboypayperview.com, where you're going to hear Larry Merchant and the Colonel Bob Sheridan on the call for that one. Cord cutter, you want to get your tablet, you want to use your computer, you want to use your iPhone, wherever it is you're going on Saturday. It is College Football Saturday after all, so that means in the state of Texas, you're wearing a Longhorn hat, like our PR man Alex. He went to LMU, but he's over here with a Longhorn hat, everything about that. He's going there to grad school.
Oh, the Stronghorns.
Texas A&M.
Resurgence.
You see that around here. College football. Steve, you were doing that. You were watching on your tablet?
Yes.
And then you got to do it. 2016, giving you options.
Can I just say something about Jerry Jones? This internet connection at AT&T Stadium is pound for pound quality. Larry Merchant gave us a great line about Canelo and Liam Smith yesterday, Beto, at the desk. He said it's the first time he's ever seen a fighter with red hair fight one that with gray hair. That's why we bring in Larry. That's why he makes the big bucks.
Premature gray Liam Smith. A little salt and pepper on the lad from Liverpool. This one's in the 5th round. It's scheduled for 6. Alexis Salazar, if you're joining us right now, like Vanessa Rivera, a Loyola alum, watching in Southern California. Appreciate that. Also, Jose Martinez watching us from Hartford, Connecticut. Checking out this fight. Appreciate it. Fans are starting to trickle inside the AT&T Stadium. A little bit after 3 o'clock Central Time.
I tell you what, Salazar is lucky he's in with an older journeyman.
Limited, shall we say?
If he was in with a younger fighter, even of the journeyman quality, I think his opponent has the opportunity right now to push him back on his heels and make something happen based on his fatigue.
Doug, as they would say in baseball, there's holes in his swing, and there are times now, especially in the last 2 rounds, and you pointed this out, that when Salazar swings, his hands are down. So forget even getting your hands back in proper defensive position to parry next to your cheek like it is right there with that right hand. There are times when he throws punches when both hands are almost waist level.
Salazar turned pro in 2013, lost both of his fights. Then he won a little run for himself, lost once in 2015. Now trained by Chepo Reynoso, who along with his son Eddie Reynoso will be in the corner of Canelo Alvarez tonight. They take on Liam Smith. Before that, Gabriel Rosado, Willie Monroe Jr., 12 rounds. And making his pay-per-view debut, Joseph Diaz Jr. from South El Monte, 2012 Olympian. He's 21-0, taking on Andrew Cancio. And it opens up with Diego de la Hoya against Orlandito del Valle. Mexico, Boricua, always a good scrap.
Both guys loading up and missing. I think, slow motion is probably just feeling the effects of a very hard, long journeyman's career. Salazar feeling the effects of fatigue, and it's making him sloppy. It's taking away his accuracy.
Doug, that was slow motion, literally in slow motion. But really, it's striking with Salazar. He doesn't have great precision to begin with.
Slow to get off his stool.
Right. There's a reason why, guys, that fighters go from 4 rounds to 6 to 8 to 10 to 12. It is a process where you do have to learn to build up that stamina and be able to fight the longer fights.
6th and final round, and on paper you see 7-3 against 10, 28, and won. You're like, come on, who's approving this? What commission's doing this? But records can be misleading, just like a 14-0 fighter can be misleading. Commission knows Larry Smith in the home state of Texas is going to be strong, going to give you some rounds, and he's not going to put himself in any kind of danger. He's lost 22 of 23. That 23rd was a draw. But this is a fighter that comes every single time, Doug.
The quality of his opposition is much better than Alexis Salazar. And at the end of the day, he's still a kid with 10 fights against a man with 39 pro bouts.
And Doug, to make an adjustment on something I say all the time, is I always say it's not if you win, it's how you win. Well, in the case of Larry Smith, it's not if you lose, it's who you lose to. He's one of these guys, and long live Reggie Strickland. You look at his box rec, it's very unimpressive. You just look at the surface, but this is a guy that had gloves, will travel. I think Salazar got some very good experience tonight, and if he's going to review this tape, he's going to find out he's got a lot to work on.
Yeah, he's going to learn that he can't load up as much as he did in the first 2 or 3 rounds because it will make you arm wary, particularly if you're fighting past 4 rounds. And it also lets his trainers know that they need to improve his technique. I think there is power there, but he's not applying it correctly enough to knock out a guy who, and I'm looking at Smith's record, has suffered early knockout losses in several of his recent fights.
Last fight, he was stopped in the 4th, the 5th, the 2nd, went the distance in 2014. So he's susceptible to the knockdown, but has Salazar really put together any kind of combinations at all?
No, and one of the reasons why you can't bet, though, is because if you see what happens, a lot of the times when he throws either a right cross or a left hook, he really has poor balance as he shifts his weight to the front foot and he spins over like a top. One of the things that you do when you punch properly from, let's say, a right hand to a left hook, you have to put your weight in a certain position and distribute it properly to be able to set up that next punch.
The bottom of the corner, there you see giving instructions with the towel was Chepo Reynoso. And Chepo has a look on his face like, this kid should be doing better right now. Imploring him.
Well, you see that right there, Beto?
Right there.
He throws a left hook, and both hands are literally down by the waist. So that's also bad offense and bad defense at the same time.
Things are going to have to work on in the gym. Salazar, valuable experience tonight against veteran Larry Smith on the undercard of Canelo and Smith. Mexico, Guadalajara, Jalisco. Going to take on Liverpool's own Liam Beefy Smith. Final seconds of this fight. The second one on the card, 11 total from AT&T Stadium. That'll do it. They go the distance. Salazar doesn't. That's the bet right there. You hear Salazar say, come on. Grabs his hand, put it up. Salazar's like, come on, man. Let me go get yelled at by my trainer real quick. We'll be back with a decision from AT&T Stadium in Texas. You're watching Ring TV.
Good job, gentlemen.
Okay, Mom. Bye. My mother's coming to live with us. Your man cave has got to go.
Honey, it's gonna take you forever to sell all this.
Sold.
What? How? Honey bun!
Sold another one.
Introducing the easiest way to sell what you got, buy what you want. Buy Miles. Download the app today.
Honey, Mom's here.
Just a minute.
Hexar in Coachella Valley, a man who does great graphic work, great design for a lot of the fighters in Southern California. Impressed by the fact I can say,
we have a unanimous decision. Judge Don Griffin and Javier Martinez both scored 60-54. Judge Michael Mitchell scores it 58-56. Your winner by unanimous decision, Alexis Salazar.
Alexis Salazar improves to 8-3. There he is with Chepo Reynoso. Chepo from Guadalajara, Jalisco. Salazar from Tlaquepaque, Jalisco. That'll do it for the second fight of the night. Coming up next, Zachary Ochoa, Daniel Montoya. Thanks for joining us today. Ring TV, use the hashtag, send it to us. We do appreciate everything you are doing right now, watching the young fighters at AT&T Stadium. We're working our way towards